Good morning and welcome to Cooley Outdoors. I am your host, Brandon Scott. With me today, as per normal, is Nash Rarig.
Hello.
And today we are at the staircase area of Olympic National Park. It is in the southeast corner on the Hood Canal area. And it is late April. We are going up the North Fork. Technically, it's the only fork inside the park, but the North Fork Skokomish River Trail out of Staircase, which is the main trail, and it'll eventually take us, if it was summertime, it would take us all the way up to, I think it's called First Divide, before it drops back down to the Duckabush River. But that's like 15 odd miles one way, and eventually gets up to 5,000 feet in elevation. And it's, like I said, April. The snow level still hasn't gotten to 3,000 feet yet, so we won't be able to make it all the way. So we are going to hopefully go 5.5-ish miles up to Big Log / Camp Pleasant and the bridge that crosses over the Skokomish River. That's all in about 5.5 miles of the trailhead, all three of those spots. So that's where we're planning on going today, and hopefully going to go see some waterfalls. Thank you for joining us. Alrighty, for today's books, we got, first of all, the Day Hike series. This one is Olympic Peninsula, and I should have bookmarked it, but you know, I am trash. Mildred Lakes, that's too far. Lake the Angels, that's too far. Lena Lake, that's too far. Four Stream and Spike Camp. So this is actually where Sabrina and I went for her birthday a couple years ago. Spike Camp, 7.2 miles round trip. We're gonna try and go a heck of a lot further than that. So that's only 3.5 miles down the trail. Riverwalk. Spring, open year round. Elevation, high point is 1,500 feet, so you really could come do this year round. Like I said, in February 2020, this is the hike I took Sabrina on for her birthday, and we made it that far to Spike Camp, so that was February. The reason I've got 3 books, I mean, it's all talking about the same trail, but we're going to go across a bridge early on. At the time of this book, this bridge was gone, but I know it's back because Sabrina and I crossed said bridge. I have it on my Instagram. Probably won't show it, but this bridge was blown out when this book was published in 2006, I believe. It's taking too much time. 2002. So 2002, that first bridge was gone, and I'll make a big point when we go and actually cross it. This book, the Olympic Mountains Trail Guide, which you haven't seen before because it's been hiding in my bookcase. Oops. Published in '88. And I believe this one is going to be on like 180 something. Nope, too far. Nope, it goes north to south. North Fork, Skokomish, Mount Washington, North Fork. There, in '88, that is what that bridge looked like. So somewhere between '88 and '02, that bridge blew out. So that's '88. That's kind of older. But this is pretty much the same book. In fact, I think it might actually be the exact same book. Nope, this one came out in '95. And I have no idea where it talks about. Hood Canal Country, North Fork of the Skokomish, 140 something. So we'll slide along to 140 something. Wagon Wheel Lake, that's a summertime trail we could go do. Here's North Fork of the Skokomish. The reason I like this book is it's out of print. I'm sure there's a new version, but it gives a nice mileage log, elevation profile, and then for these big trails. So we're parked down here in Staircase, and we're planning on going up to that crossing there at Big Log / Camp Pleasant along 7th Stream. And if you look at the mileage, Trailhead, Rapids Loop Bridge Trail, we're going to go walk along the Rapids Loop because Staircase, it's got a cool backstory of why it's called that. Flapjack Lakes, which is where Sabrina and I stopped because that's Spike Camp. Junction with Big Log Camp Spur and Black and White Way Trail. Bridge over North Fork Skokomish. So we're aiming for there at 5.3 to 5.6 miles.
Does. Alright. Rex is parked there in the main parking lot. Staircase, very popular Staircase campground is there. Yes, people overfilling the trash, and now the bears are getting to it. Cool, sucks. So technically the main trail goes off that way. This is the Staircase Rapids Loop Trail. But we're gonna go look at the bridge, across the bridge, go look at the big tree, and this will give us good view of the rapids, which gives the area its name. It is not this set of rapids, it is up more. I'll go see us. Oh, what mountain is that? I should probably figure my stuff out. Figure out what mountain that is.
Big snowy boy.
Mm-hmm. Right there in front of us is Mount Lincoln.
Mount Lincoln?
Yes. Mount Lincoln. And of course, the ever flipping gorgeous Skokomish River. That is silly pretty. That's almost good enough for a long exposure just right here, even though we're right at the trailhead.
Yeah.
That is pretty. Yeah, we'll come back and huh? A 50-degree day in April? Yeah, a little chilly.
Freeze today.
I got my nylon long swimming underwear on and I got zip-offs on. I can make it.
That'd be a good exposure for stuff.
Yeah. Well, this isn't even the good rapids.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
For a long exposure.
That it is. Oh, all the bear boxes are still in winter storage and a bunch of the... Mm-hmm. And they're just starting to leaf out too. Yeah. Come back in another 3 weeks and they'll be fully leafed out and gorgeous.
All the cherry trees are coming out in Redmond, so they're popping.
Yeah. This would be campground host. Oh no, it's actually a private residence. Never mind. So, staircase trailhead. We are parked there. We're taking this little loop and then we'll take that up to in here somewhere, hopefully. When I brought Sabrina out here for her birthday, we made it to that junction.
So we're going past Black and White Way?
Yeah, we're gonna try and make it all the way to the way trail there.
Okay.
And make it to here. Trying to make it to that river crossing because there's a waterfall supposedly there, and then there's a waterfall up one of these side streams up here, and then the next one is up 8th Stream and 9th Stream, but we're not making it that far.
And they're all off trail?
Yeah. Not far off trail,
Not far
but
off, yeah, because the river's like right there.
Yep. So, oh wait, there's people coming down the trail. I won't go into monologue till after we pass these people on the trail. I'll just give you some early spring unga bungas. Some nice bit of trail maintenance here.
I did that yesterday, actually.
The vine maple is just now thinking about starting to bud out.
All my chainsaw training's coming back.
Morning. Yeah.
I get to the point where I'll get to fall my first tree.
Stock prohibited. So this trail is going to be, the North Fork Skokomish Trail is going to be pretty well maintained because it is one of the main stock trails inside Olympic National Park. So of course they're going to try and keep it pretty well maintained for all the pretty ponies. That just makes it that much easier to access year round. So it is early April. Like I said earlier, I've done this in February. And there's a decent chance we might come out here in a couple weeks again when everything starts, when all the deciduous stuff starts leafing out. But there's a lot of deadfall down here. We had one heck of a rough winter. You'll keep hearing me talk about it.
The 4 different rainstorms we've got in the last month.
Yeah, we got pretty good and slapped around this winter. If you go watch the attempt to go to Lena Lake for Sabrina's birthday a couple months ago, you saw how the road to the trailhead was completely messed up, and this is more of the same. But anyway, monologuing back to the story. Why is this called staircase? Well, when we get to said staircase rapids up here in a little bit, you'll notice that it gets pretty cliffy on either side, hence why the river has to make a set of rapids. When white guys first came through here, I don't remember what the expedition was called, but they were making a south to north expedition, one of many, through the heart of the Olympic Peninsula to figure out what the heck was all here. There was no real way around the rapids. So they spent like 2 weeks cutting down a bunch of cedar trees, and they made a cedar staircase up and around the edge of the rapids. Hence why it's called staircase. Main trail goes that way. We'll go look at this big cedar tree real quick. This big cedar tree has fallen. It fell a while ago, but it is still massive, and it is still a good indication of the forests on the peninsula. I mean, Nash, go quickly be scale for that.
Okay.
Douglas fir, would you please? Be a deer. Yeah, that is a large tree. And that's not even a big boy by Olympic National, that's not even a big boy by Olympic Peninsula standards. Because we're still technically on the dry side of the peninsula. When it was Sabrina's anniversary and put up a bunch of videos in the rainforest, that's a small tree compared to some of the rainforest trees. We got big cedars in there. Es just muy beautiful.
So that cedar falling down a while ago, as in within the last year, or like a long time ago?
As in decades ago.
Decades ago, okay.
Yeah, it's not even on the registry of world's largest trees that inhabit on the Olympic Peninsula because it's fallen so long ago. But yeah, there's this whole separate page on the Olympic National Park page that talks about all the different world record holding species or specimens of different species of trees that are on the peninsula inside the park, and it's like 8 or 9 or 10 different trees. All right, I'm gonna shut my face now because there's other people, but this is the big cedar tree. Oh crap! I almost got stabbed by a freaking hummingbird in the nose.
Yep. 14-foot diameter.
Like, I don't think, like, the camera's not even gonna pick it up, Nash, because the hummingbird went right here.
Oh, did it?
Right there.
Oh,
like the
man.
GoPro is gonna pick up its chirping as it buzzed by, but it's not gonna pick up the bird buzzing me. Well, it's hollow to begin with when they get that big. Oh, climbing into it, yeah. So this is a big freaking cedar tree. 14-foot diameter, and I'm sure somewhere around now I'll add some subtitles talking about what is the actual world record holder that's living currently inside the national park. So I think there's like 3 or 4 different specimens that are all pretty close to each other in size. There's one down near Claylock, there's one up in one of the rainforests, I can't remember which one, and there's like 3 or 4 of them that are just absolutely massive. But here is a good living example of when a cedar tree gets that size. It's mind-boggling. And to think the entire peninsula and most of the entire western half of Washington state was full of trees like this. Like, you can go look up historical logging pictures from when white man first started logging through, and there was trains coming out of the forest, and one rail car would have one log like this, and it'd be a whole train just covered in logs like this. It's silly, really.
Scale picture of you right there.
Yeah.
The root mass.
Okay. So yeah, late April, but it has been a very cold April, unseasonably cold April. Like, we got snow in Seattle.
We got like an awkward amount of hail for
Yeah.
like a week.
Like, we seriously got snow a couple of weeks ago in Seattle in April. That's how weird this spring has been. So it is late April now, but the deciduous trees like this vine maple are only just starting to bud out. I was hoping that by now, at least this first section, stuff would be good and leafed out, but it's not. It's working on it. Come back in a month around Memorial Day weekend and it's gonna be warmer and everything's gonna be leafed out. The huckleberries are already getting their stuff together.
Snowberries popping out.
Yeah. I was hoping to see some flowerage, but like even these little tiny guys, which are usually the first ones to flower in the spring, haven't made it yet, just because it's been so cold, unseasonably cold and damp.
All the horsetails start to pop out.
Yeah, it's trying. It's trying. That sounds like an osprey going fishing. That actually might be. Yeah, there's a lot of bird noise going on, which is good. Look at that. Nash is such a good trail keeper.
Hey, I'm working for urban forestry.
Yeah.
Bring my work with me.
So Nash works for the city of Redmond doing this stuff. I keep trying to get him to go work for like park service or an outdoor nonprofit as a trail crew, but he's doing good with the city of Redmond.
I'm getting paid $10 more than those volunteers that are doing.
Yeah, but in 5 years that leads to a permanent job with the feds. And okay, where are you in this tree, Home Slice? I can hear you. Oh shit.
Is he sitting up on that? There's a nest on
I think there's a nest there, yeah.
there's a nest on the snag.
That's gotta be where he is.
Yeah. That's a
All right,
big
let
one.
me get
Wow.
the camera out of the out of the sun real quick. Except for now, we're gonna go behind this tree. So, right there, hiking stick mirror may not be helping. I'll also put a red dot on the screen. So I'm pretty sure that's an osprey nest, and that's where all of our noise is coming from. I don't see the offending bird making all the noise. He might be in that snag down there. That looks suspiciously like a bird down there. But yeah, there is definitely an active osprey nest there. And somebody is throwing a lot of complaints in the air somewhere. He's got to be in the nest or in one of those branches, and we just can't see him because we're looking into the sun. I see little songbirds in the vine maple in front, but I don't see any big birds. This is going to end up being another hour-long video just because I'm not going to want to cut any of this out.
Too much babbling.
Uh-huh. I mean, I've got to monologue the intro stuff, and then it's nature porn after that.
Yeah.
I'm sure after we cross the bridge, I'll go long sections without yammering. But there's a snowed up top of Mount Lincoln. Actually, I think the staircase was back there where we drove in. There was a bunch of cliffy spots where the river really hugged the cliff, and I think that's where the cedar staircase was put in, was back there. So I don't think we'll actually get a view where the proper staircase was put. I'm pretty sure it was back there on the road. Wild, forever wild and free river till you hit the lake just outside the park where it's dammed up. But in here, it's wild and free. I'll go ahead and turn this off till we get to the bridge. So Nash and I are having little mini heart attacks because we really want to go for a swim right now.
Oh, so pretty.
But it's probably not even 50 degrees outside yet. But I mean, this is the Staircase Rapids. Oh, that beautiful blue water. This has shades of Ohanakash written all over it. Oh yeah. Hey Nash, don't go too much further. There's some ducks sleeping on the other side. I don't want you to spook them. What? There's some ducks sleeping on the gravel bar over there. I don't want you to spook them. So, that is the Staircase Rapids, the namesake for the whole area. And this is the choke point. I'll have to look it up again to confirm whether or not this is where the actual staircase was built or not. Yeah, swimming hole, a couple different jumping spots. Also jump off the log. Nash pointing out something over there. But the reason this choke point is here is I believe this outcrop here is designating where we go from one type of rock to another. So downstream of here, it has been from the entrance up along most of Lake Cushman. I believe it has been mostly crescent formation, which is basalt. But now for the next, I don't know, mile or two up the trail, we're gonna go between, so we got crescent basalt pretty much ending here, and then we're gonna go into sandstone, shale, and conglomerates, this is this shales, and you can see the conglomerate, you can see the lines. Some of these boulders in here are thicker cobbles versus silt. So we've got interbedded layers of silt and shale and such like that, and it's going to go back to a different basalt formation. It's going to go back to more silt and shale for the rest of the way up the trail. But I believe, geologically speaking, that is why this choke point is here, is because we have gone from one type of rock to another, and this chunk here has become resistant as you go from one spot to another. Is usually where you get weak points to form waterfalls, where your resistance changes. no idea what kinds of waterfowl is down there. But yeah, this will be a definitely when we come back down the trail, we'll come back over the bridge on our way out and probably take a long exposure here on this rock. Because this is freaking pretty. Like, yeah, the rapids. Oh, osprey. I saw the shadow.
Wow.
You just landed in the maple tree. You just landed behind this maple tree over here. You quackers better wake up and watch out.
It really feels like we've reached our destination.
Nope. We're half a mile in. But yeah, this is the rapids. Cool spot to hang out and go for a swim. So there's the main portion of the staircase rapids. This is the part everybody wants to talk about and take pictures of. But those bigger drops up there is the actual rapids. So we'll get up there hopefully in a minute or two.
You just smell the sap coming off of
Dang, we need some smell-o-vision. Well, obviously we came down here just because it's too pretty not to. I can get lower, get out of the tree. Alright, let's see if you can hear me. Let's take a geology moment. These two rocks down here, you can see are mostly flat gray, then have bumps sticking out of it. Those are smaller rocks. So that is what we call a conglomerate, which is a rock made up of other sedimentary rocks. So at one point this was like a beach setting, or maybe a landslide, or a river setting, or some sort. We have rocks of all different sizes coming in and meeting up with each other. Then it got buried and turned into a new rock full of smaller pieces of other rocks, sedimentary rocks. That's a conglomerate. So we've gone from a basalt down at the entrance where Rex is parked to a conglomerate. And we're going to go back to a basalt at some point and then back into other sedimentary rocks. And that's why you get these changes in river elevation like rapid or waterfalls. All right, we have reached the bridge. As it says, the bridge goes that way, and the forest stream trail goes that way. It's like, I want to say another 2 miles. You stay on this side of the river for those 2 miles until you get to forest stream, as the name implies, and then the trailhead, or the trail ends. So it's a nice little quieter out and back trail. Haven't done it yet. I'm sure we will sometime in the future as a winter river walk. But we're gonna go ahead and cross this recently replaced and rebuilt bridge and get on the main North Fork Skokomish Trail and continue heading upstream. It really is a pretty bridge.
When did you say it got rebuilt?
Yeah. Well, it was completely, I don't know. Sometime after 2002. I want to say probably 2010 somewhere, but I'll put the date there. But yeah, this is supposed to be a well-traveled trail. You might be thinking, why are you wandering through the brush? Well, this winter really did a number on at least the Olympic Peninsula. So even well-traveled trails haven't been fully fleshed back out, which means you might be seeing a lot of this over the summer on this page as we go on to even less traveled trails as they melt out from the winter. I'm gonna have to do even more route finding like so. Ain't that a pretty spot?
The moss hanging off of it.
Uh-huh.
Classic.
Welcome to the Olympic Peninsula.
Oh yeah.
Yep. As you may be able to tell by now, this is a very rugged and rocky portion of the Olympic Peninsula. And of course there is a nice mountain range over there. And one of the mountains is aptly named Mount Stone. So a lot of very quick high elevation trails in the summer. Yeah. Yep. So here is the new trail. Here's the new bridge. The old bridge, you can see a buttress on that rock. It went from this rock here in the sun to that rock there in the shade. There's the old buttresses. Now obviously that wasn't good enough because the river claimed it. So they moved it back here and up here and heightened it. But I mean, you can see the size of that sandbar. It was pretty much at the level of the old bridge anyway. So it only took one big winter storm after that sandbar got built all up. All that gravel bar got built up and just wasted it. Nice sunny spot. All right, there.
Residents of the bridge hanging out right there. Maybe.
I'm sure there's chunks of it still down in there. All right. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first? Okay. Nice. I don't care. Nice new bridge. Yummy. Yeah, you can see some plants there and some more stuff over there. So the bridge used to cross here. It's about 10 feet lower. But downstream into the Skokomish, and then I'll turn and rotate us upstream into the mighty Skokomish. Look at how pretty that river is. You got one over there.
No! Are you kidding me?
And then from here on in, the river is going to widen out for a while, so you get a much more quote-unquote tame river valley. And I bet that might be in the way, so we'll drop down. You get a much more tame river valley for a little while, and then it'll suck up again when we get to Spike Camp and the river crossing in a couple of miles. For the Snapchat. Yeah, very pretty bridge. Very new bridge. Hopefully it lasts for a good long time and the river doesn't get anywhere near this high anytime soon to destruct it. Cottonwoods all just starting to come out and bud out. It'll be cool in another 10 years or so when they're another 10 feet taller and nice and thick. Nash will get a picture of me and I'll get a picture of Nash on Goss Bridge. And then I'll probably kill the camera for a while and we'll just walk. Come down off the bridge and tally-ho. Look, another gorgeous swimming hole / resting spot and even more ducks. I still don't know what the heck they are, but hopefully you get a better view of them. They were underneath this rock and they came out. But that's like the third or the fourth pair of them we've seen. So obviously, they just dove in to go grubbing underneath that rock. Let's see if we can get them when they pop back up. I want to see if I can get them. But obviously I need to figure out what kind of duck, what kind of waterfowl they are. Because they sure like hanging out here. There they are. Or there's the female at least, way up there. Let's see if the male pops up. I'm assuming he's gonna pop up. There he goes. Boink! Yeah, I could sit here and watch them for a long time, but we got other things we need to go do. Just thought I'd give you an update. Plus, it's a perfect bonsai tree hanging out off the edge of this rock. Like, welcome to the Olympics, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a national park. Alright, we have reached the sign trail intersection, about 3/4 of a mile. Ooh. Sorry, I gotta whiff the tree real quick. We have reached the signed intersection for the Black and White Lakes trails and the Flapjack Lakes trails. And continuing on straight is the Skokomish trail, and up that way is Flapjack Lakes and the junction of the Black and White Lakes trail. But in another couple hundred feet, we will also be at the Spike Camp, which is where Sabrina and I turned around when we went hiking on our birthday a couple years ago. So we are roughly 3.5 miles in, which for a midwinter hike, oh, what the shit.
Snow.
As I was gonna say, for a midwinter hike, going 3.5 miles isn't bad. Not that I don't like snow, but I was hoping to not see this quite yet. As you can tell, winter was quite rough in this portion of the Olympics. Holy kit and caboodle, Batman. I see a little trail sign. Do you note that we have made it to Spike Camp? Spike Camp is, I'm pretty sure, a stock, mainly campground. Yeah, Sabrina and I made it here. We ate our lunch. Tried to get her to go a little further to try and go see a waterfall, but the trail very quickly became snowed in and debris filled, and she was not having any of it. So here's the trail for the outhouse going that way. Ooh, that's a nice new outhouse. That planking's all nice and fresh and not mossed in yet. The outhouse there. You see there's a campsite back there, and there's a campsite here, and a food wire to hang your foodstuffs from. There, you can see the wires and such there, hang your foodstuffs from, so the bears can't get it while you're here. So, Spike Camp, what a pretty little sign. And when Sabrina and I had lunch, we sat on that log over there. So I think Nash and I will take a short break, maybe?
Snack break.
Snack break, hang out here, and then we'll continue on. Horsetail's just starting to come up.
Yep. You are ugly.
Not everything is.
You belong out here, not in the city.
Shh.
Where no one can see you.
If you're wondering why we are off trail on the side of a hill right now, it's because we just attempted to go find a way to go see Skokomish Falls, and we can get too close to it then we get cliffed out by 300 or 400 foot cliffs. But we can hear and we can see sections of drops, so the whole river is going over at least 2, if not 3 notable drops of probably 50 feet or more apiece. But we get to the cliff edge, we get to the canyon edge, and it's just pretty much straight down for 200 or 300 feet. And without rappelling gear and a good rock climbing basal knowledge, there's no way you're getting down there. The funny thing is, the initial spot Nash and I dropped into on the edge of the canyon, there was a side creek coming down, and it just straight off jumped that entire way down. So we did get to see a waterfall of some unnamed side creek that might only be seasonal in nature, and we could hear waterfall noises pretty good off the main river. We could see glimpses of it, but there's no way we could get down to it, at least not from this location. So now we're heading back uphill to get on the trail and continue on our adventure. Not every waterfall hunt is successful, and especially when you've got a major water course creating drops. It's probably going to be in some extreme location. Pretty much it's just up and away for a little bit further, and then we'll be on the trail. Back on the trail. Looks deceptive, but somewhere way the heck down there is a big old waterfall and a big old river. And to underscore how crazy it was, I might insert the sideways picture I got of the baby waterfall. But when we were also down there, I looked across the canyon, and on the other side of the canyon, going even higher up than we were, was 400 feet of just sheer rock, not even vegetation. On our side, it had a little bit of grade to it to where you could have vegetation growing on it, but on the other side it was just pure cliff. That's something for some professionals to come back and check out, not the likes of us. But now we cruising. It's what? Not even 1 o'clock? Cool. So we got another 6 or 7 hours yet of daylight. And we've only been on the trail for 3. Heck yes. That should leave us plenty of time for this other waterfall to go peruse at, hopefully. This is a little creek waterfall, this next one. And it's upstream, or uphill. So hopefully we'll be able to see that and make it down to the camp and the waterfall and to the river bridge and hang out there for lunch. But as we are getting deeper and deeper into the Olympics, we're gained elevation, the topography has steepened, and I can start seeing more and more views through the trees to opposing mountains and snowfields. I haven't been this far. Spike Camp back there, where we had a snack break, was pretty much as far as Sabrina and I went, so this is all new to me. But this is truly exciting. Going down a new trail into the mountains is always exciting. You know, stuff's also getting exciting when the river is a good 500 or 600 feet below you, and yet it is angry enough to where you can hear it clear as day. But here is yet another example of how rough this winter is, or was, since we're a month into spring. Down trees everywhere. This one's in a terrible spot. Hey-ya. Cruising, cruising, cruising. But yeah, if you've never been to the Pacific Northwest or the Olympics in general, you may be surprised at how green it is. That's because we get a lot of rain. Seattle is known as a rainy city, but we're more of a cloudy and drizzle city. New York, for example, gets 3 to 6 inches more rain in depth per year than Seattle does. We just have more clouds. And then it gets even better over here. Parts of the Olympics get 12 feet of rain a year, or what is that? 4 meters of rain a year. This part doesn't get nearly that much, but it still probably gets 5 or 6 feet a year. But this couldn't be a prettier day. Sun is out. It is warm but not hot. Initially for the forecast this weekend, Monday, Tuesday during the week, said 50% chance of rain for today and 80% chance of rain for tomorrow. We were gonna come out here anyway because I've had to work 3 weekends in a row. So I was getting out this weekend anyway, but woke up yesterday morning and it said partly cloudy. Woke up this morning and it said sunny and 62 in Hoodsport. And I was like, heck yeah, bro. Yeah, I heard that too. So we cruising, baby. Probably turn the camera off here in a couple more seconds. And our next shot hopefully will be going up to a waterfall and then at the next set of camps and the river crossing. All that moss, or not moss, but moss, yes, but fungus also. Go across this pretty bridge. Need the sunshine. Spring in the Pacific Northwest. Water, water everywhere. We are approaching Madeline Creek, which has a waterfall on it upstream, but also a nice bridge. So it needs replacing eventually. Madeline Creek Ford. Oh, this is cool as heck. Yeah. The waterfall's got to be like right there. Look at how skinny that is. Oh, this is cool. No, the waterfall's up there. Yeah, I know, I'm getting there. Oh, this is cool as hell. That's gonna be one tall waterfall up there. Quarter of a mile up, let's 2/10 of a mile up and 400 feet of elevation gain. Looks like probably the better way would be go up that side, because that's very cliffy. That's just cliff. Yeah. That's pretty though. We'll do it on the way back. Camera is still rolling. So yeah, if there is this much elevation change in this creek to have this slot gorge to where you need a bridge a good 30 feet above the creek to cross it, I bet that's one heck of a waterfall to go see. That's a cliffy spot over there. It's pretty as heck. And then I have to do a long exposure from like over there if I can get to it. Oh man, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty stuff.
Pretty cool design.
Yeah. That is a pretty bridge too. That's cool. So yeah, we'll hit that on. Probably gone half mile or so since Madeline Creek. Now we're coming up to Donahue Creek. Hey look, another cute little sign, Donahue Creek. This one doesn't have a bridge per se, a formal bridge, it's just got some sticks. But it's equally pretty in its own right. And according to my topographic map, if we were to go upstream on Donahue Creek, it gets real steep real fast. So I'd be willing to bet that there might be a waterfall or two up there also, but that's definitely another trip for another day. Now we've crossed Donahue Creek. We'll be coming up to a trail junction, another trail junction for I think Black and White Lakes. And then we'll come into Big Log Camp, go through Big Log Camp, cross the river, and then we'll get to the 6 Ridge Trail. A bit of snow, that's chilly. You got 3 massive Doug firs. Go stand by the middle one for good scale, and you got a pretty dang large set of cedars behind it. Yeah, your boy Nash for scale. Sure, he may not be the biggest human you've ever seen. Short king. He said he's a short king. But those are very large trees. And besides the Roosevelt elk, this is exactly why Olympic National Park was created, was to protect these pristine trees in this pristine forest. It's only supposed to be a quarter mile from Big Log Camp to the bridge, which that elder gentleman gave us some information about that and the trail beyond. This is feeling like one heck of a long quarter mile. I'm gonna go stand in front of the middle tree now. I mean, to think these trees are oh Jesus, that's a lot of deer poop. To think,
Yeah, watch out.
yeah, very helpful. I think these trees are all probably upwards of 1,000 years old. These were large trees when Christopher Columbus landed in 1492. All right, let's go find this dang. Oh, found the bridge. No, there's no way this is the bridge. No, this is a tiny creek. There's no way this is the bridge. Oh, Nash, I think it is. This is pretty. Oh goodness, this is a gorgeous little spot. Old man said no jumping. That's plenty deep to jump.
That's definitely jump worthy.
Wow. That's definitely jumpable. That's a solid 10 feet deep. That's yeah, you know how I know this is the bridge? Because you got the Sixth Ridge Trail. Yeah, you got the Sixth Ridge Trail going off to your left and the continuation of the Skokomish Trail going off to your right, as you can see there. So this is the bridge. So now do we go eat back there
Gravel bar.
at the gravel bar?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go eat there? I kind of want to get a long exposure of this from over there. This is a silly pretty little slot gorge. Look at all of that. That's wow. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a long exposure first.
All right.
Made it to our lunch spot. We're about a couple hundred yards downstream from the bridge, along the river. That little evergreen tree there is partially hiding where I've got the long exposure set up. I'll post that there. Pretty much we're gonna grub, enjoy our time, and head back somewhere around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock or so.
Watch one thing. Oh, sorry.
Alright, YouTube. After a lot of struggling, I've made it to view at least the top half of Madeline Falls. As you can see, hopefully you can tell, on the right side of the waterfall, so south side, very cliffed out. The left side is just as cliffed out, so I was able to walk along the spine of the ridge far enough to get to this perch where I can see the top half. So I've got, and it looks like there might even be more up around that corner. I don't think I've got the energy for that. Got that drop, big drop. And there's a pool there, right in there I can see a pool. And then you got the second half goes down there, and I can see the very, you can see some more down there. And from where I left Nash, way over there somewhere, I can see the bottom half of the second drop, or the bottom third of the second drop. So I'm estimating this top half to that pool, from that drop up there, down to the pool there, saying 1, 2, 3, 4 drops for a total of 60 feet or so. And then combining from what I saw earlier from the bottom half, what I thought was top up there, I'm assuming the bottom half is another 45 to 50 feet. So I'm putting this in the 100 to 120 foot range. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I saw 2 to 3 more steps down there. So 100 to 120 feet and 5 to 7 drops. Top 2
2/3, 1/2 to 2/3, you can see, and then from another position, you can see the bottom half of the bottom portion. This is good. This feels good. See this? This feels real good.
Here's a maybe better view. And the other phone, it's got the more zoomed out view. Maybe can, maybe can't see. Started the second half there in the pool there. But this is the top half-ish. Left all my other tripoding and camera gear, so oh well. See if I can take a short, long exposure from up here.
So there, from there to there, is what I'm estimating is the bottom half of the bottom half. And then, I hope I can find it. You can see it in there. There's a little bit of falling water peeking through, and I'm assuming that's the top half of the bottom half. I don't think that's the part I was viewing, because I don't see any tree trunks lying in it. And if you look at the video, the entire section I was looking at had tree trunks in it. So I'm assuming that that's the top half, somewhere in there, as far down as I could view. And then you have this, cuts over, and drops down again to that. So that's where I'm getting my 100 plus. Actually, now I'm thinking it's more like 150 plus foot. That's a lot of elevation to grab from up there somewhere, where I think the part I could see earlier starts and come all the way down there. I'm saying it's now, there's at least 1, 2, 3, and then that third, and then there's that little runoff down there. I'm saying there's at least 4 drops in this bottom half, covering close to 100 feet by itself. So I'm saying it's in the, now I'm updating it, probably saying it's in the 150 foot range. Either way, cool as heck waterfall. Just wish we could get to the base. And I know we can't get to the base because further downstream, down by the trail bridge, as you can see when I took video of it earlier, it's cliff down on either side and there's no way to walk. I mean, you could probably walk up the stream itself. That's going to be like a late summer type deal. We'll come back in August when it's trickling and hot out. But for March, with the water high, about as good as it's going to get.
So, Madeline Falls was mostly successful. So now we're back to cruising on what I think is the prettiest portion of the trail so far, between Madeline Falls, or the Madeline Creek crossing, and Spike Camp, where we're just cruising along this hillside on this up and down, mostly flat roller coaster through pretty open forest. I think this is the prettiest portion of the trip. Yeah, they're going and looking at the rapids, Staircase Rapids. It's pretty dang cool. But for overall boom chakalaka-ness, I think this is it. Man, I am tired. I'm still here. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of your ride home.
Alright. We have made it back
Oh my god, we did.
to the bridge, crossing over the Skokomish River. That staircase, it's really wiggly because the GoPro is about to die, so I don't know if it's going to pick up the entire outro. But it is 7 o'clock, pretty much on the dot. So it took us roughly 3.5 hours to go the 5.5 miles from the Skokomish Bridge to this one. That's including our at least half an hour detour to go see Madeline Falls, and then our pretty much half an hour detour back at the Staircase Rapids Bridge to film some long exposures there. So it was more like
2.5 hours to go 5.5 miles, which isn't bad for it being April and us being out of shape, all things considered. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Give a like to any and all videos you liked. Give a dislike to any and all videos you disliked. Please tell me why you didn't like it. If you go on to a long exposure video and tell me you didn't like it because it was too static or there's no talking or so on and so forth, that's the idea. But yeah, talk to you next time. Thanks for joining us. Leave a like and a subscription maybe. And see you on our next adventure, whether it's hiking, kayaking, or maybe go play more in the snow. After pointing at me. What? Oh. So, big dummy there, big dummy behind the camera, big pretty river. Talk to you next time. Ciao.